I have it as downtown laws.
The applicant, if that is a community rehabilitation project, I think they just capitalize on it. Yeah. Or maybe that's the grant that it's under, but that's
Wow.
what it is that, yeah.
The RHID, that is the downtown law.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead and start our study session. We got Amber up first. Amber, you wanna come up? I think you got a presentation maybe? Or is that for later? I'll put that's for the, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm in the same.
All right, so we'll start with the hard one. Amber Piper, 911 director. So one of the things I was asking or wanted to present to you guys today is all dispatchers at Dickinson County are EMD certified, so it's emergency medical dispatch. So when someone calls in with a medical emergency, this allows dispatch to gather needed information for the medics, help triage the calls, and provide patient care instructions while help is en route. So we do this on every medical call, not just higher priority ones, but all of them go through this medical EMD. So this is currently done on outdated clunky card sets. So I brought one here to show you guys. So this sits off to the side of a dispatcher. So how it kind of works is not a very big indicator, but it sits off to the side. So dispatch is on the computer. They're taking the call, enter in a person's address, name, and phone number. They add in their line to get what's happening. Okay, tell me exactly what happened or what's the problem today. As soon as we learn that it's a medical in nature, the dispatcher turns to the card sets on the side. They then have to find the chief complaint or what the person's calling for. One of the most common ones that we do is falls. So if we turn to the fall card, it then has the questions that the dispatcher would ask and gather the needed information for the responders. So on like a fall, it says the patient strapped in or by anything. Can the patient respond to and follow simple commands? Can they answer your questions? Are they short of breath? How far did they fall, etc. So what I'm asking of you guys is to approve, instead of using those clunky, outdated card sets I presented to you guys before on them, where you did agree to pay, allow money to be spent to update them as they haven't been updated for 20 years. But in doing that, we learned of a computerized version called ABCO and Telecom, which will place the information into the call narrative as dispatch is gathering it. It's all done on the computer right in front of them. It also lets the responders see it real time instead of delayed, because after the dispatcher uses the cards, they hang up with the caller, then they go back to the screen and they type in the narrative what was said. It doesn't work for our responders because they don't see that information now that they've already been dispatched. And so we run into sometimes they're not getting a clear picture of exactly what's happening. This would take care of that, where it's all in the narrative right away as they get dispatched, so they see it as well. And then they would also allow a quicker response to CPR instructions. The dispatch can just click on the link instead of have to move their chair to the card set, flip to find it, takes out some of the human error of being on the wrong card. And then it also would allow us to update twice a year if we wanted, instead of waiting 20 years and then paying to reprint cards. So we have I included a short little video. I'm not sure if you guys had watched it already or not, but it kind of just runs through how it kind of works on the computer. So, am I in your way?
No, you're good. That we can see it on the screen too.
Okay, so yeah, this is our CAD system. It's just going through showing how we can enter an address by a common name. They're picking the call type. And then right there, when they hit launch EMD, it brings up the computerized version that I was talking about. And then right away is the questions that are on the card set. Is the patient conscious? How old are they? Like I said, as you're doing it, it's showing that it's integrated into the CAD system. It's putting all the information right there into the narrative so responders can see it as well as your partner who's paging out the medics and the one that's giving the information. Sometimes we run into some issues because we work as partners, our partners starting the medics for citizens, so there's no delay. They're not the ones on the phone with the caller, so they're not exactly hearing what's being said. Pretty much how it works. Of course, everything comes with a cost, so it provides you with two sheets there. The first one is the actual product through ABCO, so we use ABCO for everything here. We're ABCO certified, so that's just the name of the company. So with that, you can see that the initial total would be $21,160,278. And then how we get to the other costs there is because we use CAD, everything has to integrate together. Our CAD system is a Tyler product. So the other $4,800 comes from Tyler setting up for it to be integrated. And then yearly after that, the ongoing costs would be a total of, it kind of changed on me a little bit. They gave me two different estimates. So our initial implementation cost went up, but our actual annual went down because they now have went to a computerized e-com book subscription. So it'd actually be $2,300 annually through ABCO, and then Tyler annually would be $1,008. So although I am asking you for these funds, it doesn't come out of the county's general fund or the dispatch operating fund. It is a 911 allowable expense from the money that we get from the state here. Any questions about the proposal or the product?
Are there other counties using the same, this program?
Well, there are, yes.
Okay.
We don't really want to look at a different product just because we want to stick with ABCO. That's what all our certifications are under. We'd have to be certified differently. But in the state of Kansas, there's really three big players. You either have ABCO in telecom, you have Priority Dispatch, or you have PowerPhone, which is probably the cheapest option that a lot of smaller counties go with. But because we already have ABCO, everything else, we'll just stick with ABCO.
Yeah.
Not that you can control it, but $4,500 a day for training is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's insane. Must be some very valuable trainings.
So,
Yeah, I see that there. It was just, I was making a comment.
No.
I just thought that was.
I found out with some other things of theirs as well. What they projected the cost of them coming out, paid for their airlines and hotel,
Gotcha,
kind of
okay.
makes you want to reconsider. However, that would be if they came on site.
Okay,
And because we already use the card sets, we already have the idea. If you see up there on top, the online software training is what I'm currently going with. I believe our dispatchers, because they have the gist of how it works, would be able to do their online training just to learn the computerized side of it and not bring them on site for training. But if we had to bring them on site.
gotcha. This would be the full price, okay. I don't have much questions. I mean, it sounds like you can appropriate this out of the 911 fund. I don't know what's in that fund currently. And surely you guys have talked about that with Marcus and you got the funds to do it, so.
And I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but those funds are divided up by population. So the state 911 board, they have a formula for all that. So Dickinson County gets about $140,000 a year for operating costs. Again, that pays for all of our electricity and all of our operating costs. The only thing that doesn't come out of that is personnel. That comes from the county fund. But we currently run right at just about that as operating costs. We don't have a lot of extra. However, we are benefited in there that we did a pay for training and stuff out of that, or new chairs, so a little bit of extras that we need for them to be comfortable and to give them some opportunities. But, additionally, we do have a little bit of a nest egg of 88,000 in there that,
Some carryover, is that what? it is?
right. So over the years, we've had a little bit of carryover for that 88,000.
You guys are, I think you're fine. I was asked the same question, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys are budgeting right and not gonna run out of money. I think you guys are. Well, I mean, just from the demo, I mean, it sounds like you're just modernizing. It's gonna help you do it. I assume you're not doing it all on one screen. You got multiple screens, so you can do all that simultaneously, and I'm sure it's a lot more efficient and fast. And
Yes, which I can bring up and show you.
No, you're fine.
Presentation, but
that's all I was I'm like, I know they got 3 or 4 or 5. I think they got like 5 screens on there.
It
So
would be amazing.
cool. I don't have any other questions, gentlemen.
So like 6 calls come in at once or 7 and so on. I guess before you ever get to the screen, you prioritize, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Figure it out. And probably often they're for the same call if it's an accident on internet.
yes, you are right on that one. So, how we work is, we work as a partner. So you have 2 people in dispatch, one's phones, one's radios for the day. So the person that's on the phone, say we got an accident on the interstate, you also rely on room awareness. So even though that person's radios, by the questions their partner's asking, you learn really quick that it's some type of accident. So the next call comes in, we have a way of triaging it. So it'd be, oh, you're calling about an accident, what's the location? Of course, we want to make sure it's the same location and not just assume that it is. And then after we learn it's the same location, our next question of priority would be, are you involved? If they are, then of course we ask about injuries just in case the other caller didn't know. But if that party's not involved, we just quickly get their name and phone number, place it in there if we would need them later. But then we're going to let them go because our partner's on the phone with somebody involved or getting better information.
I actually do have a follow-up. So you're getting around 140,000 from the state. You said you guys pretty well expensed that out. So now you're going to have a 10,000 more to that budget. Can you handle that next year?
Annually is only 3,000.
Oh, is it? Okay. I was seeing the 10 there per position software. Maybe that's just to get it going.
That's implementation.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Yearly for them is
Oh, right there.
20% of that. So,
okay.
but you also have a little bit of annual from Tyler of the 1,000.
And that'll roll through next year, I guess is what I'm saying, with the budget you got.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, you're okay.
You guys do a good job. I should quit questioning you. I'm more than the public, guys, all right?
No, it's
But the public will have those questions, and then if they're answered, they.
Yeah.
And we do, Marcus does a really nice job. Each department sits with them. We look at the line items where we ended up last year, what we're looking at this year. So, at the end of last year, we did have to look at, maybe there was a couple areas we could cut just to make sure we came in where we wanted to. And then as we built the 800 towers, we now have some leasing fees to pay the people that own the towers when we put our equipment. We want to be able to take that in to the 911 funds, absorb it as well, and not use the county funds for that. So we did a lot of looking at it, revamping, where we cut out some stuff.
Sounds like we thought it through.
Yeah, just trying to maximize those 911 funds and make sure that you're using them as efficiently as possible. I think this will be a good year for us because last year I didn't get to work with Amber as long. She kind of came in right at the end of the budget cycle. So now she's going to really get a full year of us working together on the budget. And I think she's doing some great things and she has a really good handle on where we should be utilizing those funds and making sure that we're maximizing what's coming out of 911 versus what could come out of the general fund. And I think that's really going to be a good benefit for us moving forward.
It's Director of Finance. He agrees.
I like that.
Thank you,
But
Amber.
thank you.
You guys have any questions more?
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank you, Amber.
Very thorough, I appreciate it.
So this will be an agenda item next week.
Okay, thank you.
You want to start with safety and
I was
welfare?
gonna say, I think you're back here again, right?
I'm sorry. I got 3
I'll
things.
say sorry.
Health communicator one's not till the regular meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, the proclamation.
Is that 10
11 is the regular meeting, so, no.
following? All right, so So Marcia's here for backup if I need, if you guys have some questions that I can't answer for safety and wellness, but, all right. So it's always been important to me, this is a safety and wellness update. It's always been important to me to be not only involved at whatever my level has been in my profession as dispatch or supervisor, now the 911 director, but I also take pride in what I can do countywide. So when I came over to Dickinson County, I started feeling some things out of where I might be able to incorporate that in here at Dickinson County. And I learned rather quickly of the staff development day. So as I've expressed to you guys before, I'm kind of a square. So when I learned of a day that we can get together and we're gonna learn, that was pretty intriguing to me. But I quickly learned that others had differing views when I kind of talked about staff development day and brought it up. It seems some people at the county would find ways or tasks that needed to be done so that they could avoid staff development day. And that just kind of hit me a little bit different of what could I do to help out that more people would want to come and find it interesting. So we helped put together a quick game last year. We called it the County Showdown. It was our version of Jeopardy. It went over really well, and we were able to give away some overall giveaways. But from there, I became involved. I learned that that day was put on by the Safety and Wellness Committee. So Marcia let me be involved in that group. It had the representative.
Really had to twist her arm, so.
It has a representative from each department, or that's our goal, is that everyone sends one person. But one of their bigger tasks is that staff development day. But this year, we really wanted to revamp the Safety and Wellness committee. So we really have 3 big focuses that we wanted you guys just to be aware of, some different stuff that we're doing. This year as a group, we really wanted to emphasize a way to be able to hear concerns of our new insurance. It's scary, uncomfortable for people to go to a new insurance. So that's one of our big focuses, is just when people have issues, we want to help them work through it, help people become comfortable and make sure that what the county's using for insurance works in different situations. Our second focus was we wanted to look at the safety plan of our office and our building in an emergency situation. We found that what we believed our plan was going to be had a lot of holes in it, and maybe it didn't work as well as we thought it was. So we're working on those. And then our third focus was really how could we get more people involved for that lighter fun? How can we make them want to come to staff development day and also be a part of some things that the county does. We really wanted to focus on teamwork, like how could we get to know others in all of the departments instead of just the departments that we work in. So we've come up with Thrive Together is what we're calling it, Thrive Together County Edition. So what we've been doing is we've been putting out monthly tasks that we can do together. People don't have to participate in it, and they don't have to participate in every monthly task, but they do earn points for the tasks that they participate in. And our goal is that if they reach 100 points by staff development day, then they would be eligible to pick some type of incentive or prize. So a couple of those things that we've done, like February, we did some Super Bowl activities. One of the things we chose to focus on in the beginning was financial wellness. So we had a little presentation of an Abilene officer and his wife that are now debt-free. They presented a few ideas of how they've accomplished that and how somebody you actually know local that was achievable, things that we could do. Some of our employees started a monthly savings challenge. So every month they're putting so much money into an envelope to get to 500. That month we focused it on a character focus of leadership. For March here, we did some St. Patrick's Day stuff. If you've seen out in the hallway, we have some March Madness graphic competition going on. One activity that a lot of people found entertaining was we did chat GPTs of our jobs. Everybody found that real interesting. They'll get to see everybody's here soon. We had a waterlog 2-week challenge. We really wanted to focus on people could create better habits if they just stuck with it for 2 weeks. It kind of became more natural and didn't feel like a task. And then we've also, one of our other tasks this month was they could join Walk Kansas, where we found that our Abilene Rec was doing a 250-mile walk challenge. So a handful of people have signed up to do that together. But overall, we have about a quarter of our county employees participating, which I think is a pretty good number for our first year, first attempt. And we just hope that the buy-in continues to go up. And I think people are having fun with the activities and enjoying getting to interact with other departments outside of our own. Any questions, Martha?
I think it's been good. We have a tendency to be a little stale sometimes, so anytime that we can engage our employees, I think is important. So, and this is definitely on the right track, so.
How do you feel our culture is right here in this building?
Actually, this is a little cheesy. I'm a cheesy person, but I felt that it was very welcoming, and I don't mean to say this like I truly wouldn't say if it wasn't honest, but especially sometimes the administration offices or HR, I found that's not as welcoming some places, but here it was actually you don't mind seeing HR. Sometimes can be a negative thing to people, or
I understand that.
or walking into the office and the county administrator or the administration office.
Just more.
You opened a can of worms, Kenny, but I'm just being honest. But no, walking into the administration office and then
We have a good
HR,
culture.
yeah,
So
they're very welcoming.
people work where they like to work more
Yes.
than they, so.
And you have some people like Rose does a really good job. She's always trying to invite you to come up to luncheons, and she puts on potlucks. And so it's just, I found it very welcoming here. And I think that you would be surprised actually how well everybody does engage and get along. And I find it being here 8 months now, it's a friendly environment. So.
Well, some places say that, they have an open door policy,
Right.
but you still, not referring to here, but you still sense a barrier. It really
Correct.
isn't an open, it's proceed with caution or.
And so it's kind of a running joke of mine, but we sometimes have to fight over Janelle's office. Like sometimes you'll go try to want your time to talk to Janelle, the county administrator, and there's a line of people wanting to talk to her. So I think that says a lot about the atmosphere of that there is truly open door policies, and that people go up there to talk more than just when something's going wrong. So.
And you do want a professional atmosphere, but I mean, there is a balance that isn't always easily achieved or so. A good question. I appreciate the candor of your answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good rest of your day.
She'll be back for the.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. See you later, Amber.
No.
It's an open door. Come on.
It's an open day, right? Chancy?
Sir,
A little early. You want to come up? I'm sure you'll fill the
I'm
time.
almost ready to come.
Yeah, we know.
I got new glasses, so I feel,
Ooh.
I hate them, and I made a bet with the doctor. I said, I'll wear them an hour a day until like, he was just give them an hour a day. But they're the transitional bifocals, so like you go in and out of focus when you move your head around. So if you see me moving, I don't have Tourette's or something, it's just the glasses.
Oh, work comp issue at home, so.
Yeah, walk into a wall or something with them. We had our regional North Central meeting, and to bump off of what Amber said when you said the atmosphere around here. I travel all over the state doing emergency management stuff, and especially in our North Central region. And the other counties are jealous of the relationships we have, not only with administration, but the treasurer's office, the register of deeds, the appraisers, how everybody works together, because that doesn't happen in other counties. They really wish it would, but it doesn't happen. And I, after being here over 20 years, I kind of see how this relationship was built. And the person mostly I feel was responsible for it, Brad had a little bit to do with it, but it was Sherry Massey. It was our IT department. Made everybody use the same system. So what I did affected what you did, affected what he did, and everybody had to work together. So if you had a problem, you had to go talk to that person. And the communications is just open, and people feel comfortable going into these other offices, because I'm telling you, A lot of the other counties are silos. The treasurer's office doesn't talk to the appraisers, doesn't talk to the clerks, and they need to talk to each other to make the citizens represented well, so stuff's taken care of. But we really are fortunate here to have it work like that. And I think it's just because of how we tied everybody together with the computer system we use forces people to communicate and to get along, because I need you, but you need me also. So we have to have that relationship to do it. And I think that's really a big part of it. Amber's kind of lost because we all need 911. We don't have to communicate with her on a daily basis, but she fills that gap. And back to us, we're having a 402 class today. Key Hobber's going to come over and help, but I went downstairs to make the meeting room ready, but there's a bunch of deputies in there doing CPR, so I left them to what they're doing. Set that up later, but looking forward to that. We did this class in Salina last Friday. Debbie Lytle came over from the city. She really liked it enough that she said, hey, get me a list of other classes that I can do online that I could learn more about this, because we're really bad in emergency management about using acronyms. And an EOC means something different to somebody else, or when you ICS, or when you're using just acronyms. And I tried to help out there at the class. Like, oh, let's use what the word is and not acronyms, because that really is confusing for a lot of people. But I think it was a really good class, and I think you guys will like it. I hope we do it justice for the second time. But she said she didn't get anything or didn't hear about anything from the city that we were doing.
Shayla and John.
That's what I told her. I said, well, Shayla had it, and she's family. She should tell you if you got it. But the class was really well received. We're in a high fire danger, and I don't know, you might have some visitors from some citizens about some calls. We had a gentleman call in to 911 trying to get permission to burn his trash. And I was like, man, and he was losing his constitutional rights, and we're tyrants, and the county can't do this, and I can do what I want. And Amber said, would you call him? I said, absolutely, I'll call him for you. So I gave the gentleman a call, and I said, sir, I said, I've been doing this job for 20 years, and I know what the law is and how the rules call for this. In the county, you only need a burn permit to burn your crops. You call into 911, tell them where you're burning, what you're burning, and they send you a case number, and that's your burn permit number. I said, sometimes we have restrictions where we don't allow limbs to be burned. Like the last couple of days, we wouldn't allow any limbs because we're in red flag today, and it's going to be bad, and we're probably going to have some fires. But we don't let people burn on those days because of these reasons. Or if the fire departments have equipment down and they're not able to fight fire in their own district, we won't let burning going on there. And the chiefs have the permission to do that. And I said, we've never given permission for anybody to burn trash. Do people burn trash in the county? Absolutely they do. We don't give anybody permission to do that. What you're asking is akin to saying, give me permission to drive 60 mile an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. I can't do that, sir. That's illegal. You've got to drive 55. I tell you to drive 55. If you drive 60, it's your risk to drive 60, that whether they're going to stop you or not. I doubt they're going to stop you for 5-0. Just like I doubt anybody's going to come out and hassle you for having a 55-gallon barrel with some household trash in it burning. But I'm not giving you permission to do it. Well, I'm not taking any rights away from you, sir. You go light it up and have a good time. But I'm not giving you permission to do that. That would be akin to giving you permission to drive 5 over. I said, our commission meets on Thursday at this time. They'd be happy to listen to any comments you have. And I don't know if he's going to show up or say anything, but that was how that call went. But we've also had people just last weekend light their fields on fire, why we're in a red flag warning, why there's a burn ban going on. And they said, we disc around our property, it's safe, we can burn it. Sir, we have a red flag warning for a reason. And that instance right there burnt down into the river and was in the creeks and going around there, and it was going to be a problem for a long time. We had one last night where they called in and said the same thing, and the fire department went out there and asked a deputy to meet out there because the chief had called the person, and he says, I don't care what you say, we disc around it, we need to get it burnt, we're out here, we got the people. They lit it on fire during a burn ban, red flag warning. So and I don't know the outcome of it, but they asked for a deputy to come down there, so I don't know if they cited the person or what happened, but the fire department was gonna put the fire out. It's just, we have to enforce our laws, and that's the one that we set forth, that if we're in a burn ban, we don't allow burning.
And the burn ban restrictions are based on state regulations as well, so.
So we're probably gonna hear something about it. If we don't, they understand. We've had these laws for 10 years now, that the same regulations. I think we've changed the length of burning at night. You can't light it at night, but if you start it at sunset, we'll allow the burning to continue until it's extinguished. You know, we try to make amends everywhere we can, but when we're in a red flag warning, we sure don't need a fire like Western Kansas did, you know, get somebody killed, because we don't take care of that around here. Like John Holtgren is like the worst in the world about, he loves to be hid back there in his house. He's got cedars completely around his house. Those things are tinder, and when it's dry like this, if the fire would get into that, we could probably lose a structure like that. We break our crops up enough that we don't have huge fires like out west where it can burn for 10, 15 miles. We have a lot of wheat around here, thank God, and that really breaks it up. But, you know, you can get some of these CRP fields where we can burn a lot of acres fast, and there's houses close to them. So really are working hard at that. So just a heads up.
Yeah,
That's about all I'm gonna say today. Unless you have something else.
More to say this afternoon.
I'm saving it for today, yeah. No test.
everything relatively okay with the fires though? I know a lot of people are worried about it. Everything
It is.
in our county anyway.
Yeah. We've deployed our task force 5 times this year to assist surrounding communities and counties with a state tasking number. They love our task force. The guys are really well trained to enough that we've traveled, that some of the task force teams have traveled to other counties to help them get started with, and what started ours was the Fire Chiefs Association getting together in our county. All the chiefs get together once a month and have a meeting, discuss stuff, talk about stuff, do the planning for the year. And we do a lot of training together because Talmadge doesn't host any training. They don't have enough firefighters. They don't have the skilled firefighters that Chapman and Abilene have, because they have full-time firefighters that work for Fort Riley and, you know, professional departments. And they're really good at their job at training for other things. So we host regional training in our region, and a lot of those are coming to it. Well, Clay County wants to do something like that, and Ottawa County has talked about doing something like that. Marion County is coming to some of the trainings when we have them down in Harrington. So it's really spread, and the fire guys are loving it. But that only benefits the citizens having better trained firefighters, because when I started 20 years ago, you know, some of the rural departments, they were farmers who started a job to save their wildland stuff, to save their CRP if a big fire came. They not so much on structure fires. It was, we will do our best to put the fire out, but the training and the technicality of fighting a structure fire is so much different. It's not just knock the windows out and squirt water on it. It has to do with where you cut a hole in the roof to vent the smoke out so you can put the fire out and save the rest of the house. It's the technical side of it, and they're starting to learn that now. And I'm very, very happy in our county that we're getting that expertise down at the volunteer small fire department level. They know better than to do certain things now that they used to just do. They know why they don't do it now.
There are a lot of people in our rural area, though, that have a lot of experience.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
And are very careful and mindful. But also, sometimes if you ask one, have you ever had one get out of control? And quite a few have had some close calls.
We just had
part of their experience.
We just had one last week, and they were in a red flag, and they called and said, "Hey, any chance you could talk to the chief? I don't get along with him. We'll see if he's going to lift it." And I gave him a call, and he goes, I meant to do that. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I called the person back and said, "Good." He goes, "Well, I got 10 people here, and we got our side by sides, and we got the water. We just had enough people to burn. We were ready." and it got away from them. And they had to call the fire department anyway.
Okay.
So even being prepared, wind changes. That's what we do in Kansas. That wind can shift this much because you burn this side, go to the other side, light it, it burns, they come to the middle and it goes out. And then if the wind shifts direction and it blows that way, you didn't put a fire break on this side. It's just tough sometimes to, it's fire. It does what it wants.
Well, I want to say thank you. You're doing a good job, and
No, it's,
don't go to the state, okay?
The one thing safe.
Can't lose any more employees.
I don't plan one for. I really. When I started this job 20 years ago, I was coming from law enforcement, and I would have done law enforcement for free when I started. I loved doing it so much. I really enjoyed it until I didn't. And then it was like, you guys have seen the shift in law enforcement in the last 20 years. And now I love showing up somewhere, and I love teaching, and I love helping people do stuff. And we've done some classes. My CERT kids are getting ready to do their final exercise on the 31st. We're going to go back out here to the sheriff's range, and they're going to do a big search and rescue. Got life scars supposed to fly in there. EMS is going to come out there. The 3 rescue groups are coming out there to show the kids and see what they can do. And the kids are just pumped up. Tried to get to Depew to come out there with his drone to fly it, but he is in Kansas City teaching a class because we hire the best people and everybody wants to hear the training. But so I'm looking for a drone pilot. K-State's volunteered to come over. Cloud County's volunteered to bring theirs down. So they're going to get to do that. And we're going to have the big trailer out there with the big TV in it. And they're going to be able to do search and rescue with the drone out in the big field. Just see all the different technologies we have in the community to help people in that. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Speaking of fire chiefs, Chapman Fire Chief wanted to know if you would like to see the vehicle that they just purchased. He can bring it over this morning.
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, sure.
If we have a little break, it'd be nice.
Didn't have to be that quick, but I'd love to see it.
Unless he needs
He's
to.
probably out doing tires.
It's town or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, unless it needs to be in place.
I wouldn't mind, yeah.
We too haven't seen it yet. He asked me to come with him to pick it up. Glad I didn't go with him because he blew an inside dually on the tire.
Oh, no.
And I said, it didn't have any water on or anything, just come home with one. But then the tires were like 15, 20 years old on it.
Oh,
So he had to put all new dualies on the back, and he just saved the other ones for spares. But I said, yeah, if they're old and weather checked and crap, you need to put new tires because you got another 700 miles to go.
Martin, could you use those tires or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chancey.
He's leaving Chapman now, so
Okay.
10, 15 minutes, so, yeah.
Yeah, let's walk out for 10, 15.
Okay, next would be the review of the procurement policy, which I have gone through.
Mhm.
I'm gonna open this, gentlemen. My biggest point in here is the Board of County Commissioner and the Administrator. Wherever the Administrator has a power, the Board of County Commissioner needs to have the respect. I'm not saying that you wouldn't facilitate that.
Right.
My purview is that the Board of County Commissioner could also do the same thing, because that authority comes from us inevitably.
Yep.
So I just want to write it in there wherever, so for example, if you go to, I'll just pull out section D, protest, for example. County administrator pursuant to this section, I would put county administrator or Board of County Commissioners pursuant to this section.
Okay.
Now, in my mind, it is going to flow through our county admin. I think what I'm really trying to say there is I think the board, especially like if we're debarring a vendor or something,
Mhm.
I think we need to be let known. It's
Oh,
really what I'm trying to do.
absolutely,
with
yes.
that,
Yeah.
or have a decision or hear about the facts and make it if we need
Yes.
to.
So there's a recent ruling or legislative piece from the state that if something's less than $100,000, it doesn't have to be put out for bid. Does that impact us much? But, I mean, maybe you need to
I
have
mean,
a
there's-
conversation with
We don't,
Martin or some of the others. I mean, I'm just wondering,
Mhm.
because this kind of ties in a little bit to this. Because, at what point you just check it off?
right. I mean, you see the invoices that come across, you see the bids that come before you, and that's based on our current policy. that we've got. So that's the reason that we do that. So, and there's not a lot that are in that $100,000 range unless we have a major project or like the road work that we did or the bridge or something like that. It's 100,000 or under, correct?
So if you go to section 3, that's where we're gonna get into the actual purchase pricing and what they can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, departments must pursue county administrator approval. I agree. But
I don't know if this is the necessarily answer to it. And so since it was so long ago, I'll reference it. Because I hesitate to say, well, this is the way this administrator did it, or this is the, but I want to be saying that, but I think those examples are helpful too.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember Mark Arbuthnot with the city sometimes. He had the authority to do something and then he'd bring it before the commission in a work study and say, this is something we need to do and give the justification or the reasoning behind it or whatever. And it was within an amount, he could just okay it, but we still were kind of in the loop in case there was some question or issue. But then, you know, how, at what point do you take away from the efficiency to,
It's a fine line there.
I mean, just like the guys down there at the fire truck, I doubt, you know, it just needed to be done.
Mhm.
I mean, so it was obvious, but he's spending quite a bit of money, it sounds like.
Right.
So
I think it could be written a little differently. So in my opinion, 15,000 is a lot. I think it's a lot. I think it's a bit much for me, for my taste. I'm not saying I'm opposed to allowing a more. Mine was 5,000 for non-competitive purchasing. And my thought there is, I've been here for a year. I've looked at a lot of the invoices. There isn't a whole lot that's over 5,000 that isn't a part of a project. I'm not saying there is, I realize. It's not like hundreds a week.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about hundreds of things are going to stop working because you don't have an answer in 1 week.
Right.
Is where I'm really going with that.
There's a few exceptions, but not very often. So
And maybe I need to be tuned into that.
an exception, for
the
example.
biggest one is going to be when Martin gets ready to purchase tubes or steel.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking. He brings that to us.
Yes, but there's a quick turnaround with that. They're not going to hold that price. So that's going to be probably the best example that I'm.
Right. It would hold it for a
We've
week.
already, since it came up, have started going to our vendors.
Okay.
And right now, we've generally gotten to agree to 10 days or more.
Right.
They'll hold your price that long. It started back when the
COVID.
COVID and the fluctuation, and they were saying, man, we can't hold the price.
They
for
couldn't
3
guarantee.
days.
Yeah.
And now, and it was becoming last minute. You know, now all their prices were close enough that we don't think we were, so to speak, getting cheated or a bad deal. But we've notified all our tube and side vendors and stuff and said, you're gonna have to get it to me this week and we'll approve it next week.
But I would like to see, if that is a fact, that we can build that into this. Okay, steel tubing, structure, you know, we could build a policy to accept the exceptions, in my opinion. For the generality is where I'm really talking about. And in my opinion, I think anything over 5,000 needs to come through the commission.
Yes.
And I look at that from a business owner's perspective. I mean, I don't allow my employees to spend any more than a penny without approval. So I know the private side does it that way, and that's really where I'm going. I think it's very reasonable for the board to be accountable for anything over $5,000 in purchase, or at least to be the one who should be voting on it.
Yeah. Like I said, we're trying to set everything up to where we get it the week before to you. Working on it, yeah.
I get there's exceptions. And if-
Everybody's in agreement, you know, so.
I get there's exceptions, and if we need to build exceptions, we can do, that's what I'm trying to say, is we can do that.
Right.
We don't need to change the whole policy for an exception.
I can see from vendor point, no, I can't see from vendor point at all. That we sometimes have to jump through the hoop to make sure that price is locked in or we're not going to get it. At the same time, how many times has it happened, not only through the county, but other businesses, that you order something and you locked in that price and the vendor reneges on it and says, no, the price has gone up.
Right.
So they don't, they're benefiting on both ends of it.
Yes.
And that should stop. I mean,
Or
you lock
they'll
in,
say there's a tariff. We're gonna add a tariff. in.
Unexpected charge, yeah, and that's kind of where I'm going.
yeah, yeah.
Like, a week is, I work in the private industry, a week is not a terrible amount of time to hold a quote, I'm sorry. If we can, I don't know, we'll deal with it, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, the only big check that we write is for the fuel.
Right.
Okay, that we can't write. You order it today, you get it tomorrow.
Right.
The price, they set it at 4 o'clock.
yeah, but if we agree on the set price amount, you have your authority,
Okay.
But we bid it each time we have to refill.
right? Okay.
Right, so,
Can't we give a set bid allowance on the per gallon price? And then it would show as far as you're in that balance, you're approved. So there's ways around that kind of stuff
Mhm.
to do it smart.
that would.
You know, this year you go to,
Fuel, we're pushing $20,000 a tanker.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
how often do you fill them?
About every 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
both sides, diesel and
The
unleaded.
reason I brought it up is if we do pick up the whole city of Abilene, they're discussing fueling down here.
Yeah.
I might go to every.
Built into your level one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would increase.
That's what I would suggest.
Yep.
Fuel was the only exception. Is there a way we could write?
That's what I just said. Fuel could be a non-competitive purchasing bid, level one.
Mhm.
I mean, they're.
They'll still report the price.
Exactly.
They still bid it.
They still bid it.
Yeah,
And we'll-
still get our
but you're-
44
Yep.
prices.
So we can, on that, I get it. That if you got a price this day, yeah, fuel goes up daily.
So
So
we have to have it. It's not,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't
we're
order.
gonna hold out too.
Yeah, we're not gonna build roads or
Down at the bottom of the tank, so we can't wait
Yeah.
very long at that point, because you gotta wait till you can take a whole semi load.
And this year, we know prices are gonna go up. So I totally get where you're
Or
going.
fluctuate.
Or at least,
Yeah. Yeah, we were down to
well,
pay
they're supposed to go.
14,000, just a few months ago for a tanker full, and it's moved up to about 20. So,
And I
Any-
think what I would do in this level one is just make it, for example, fuel.
Yeah.
And leave some room in there in case the situation changes, and then we're just,
I can go up a little bit on 5. To me, I want to tell the public that the board isn't more involved. We know, I feel like that's our duty. We're the purse strings of the county. It's what we're elected to do. We need to know what's happening.
so even if we make the updates to the procurement policy, the process wouldn't change how we do things. You still get the information early, you still call questions. We can pull a check out during the accounts payable if need be.
Let me say something for that.
Yeah.
Janelle, Martin, they are not buying stuff for 15,000 and not telling us about it. I want to perfectly state that for the record. That's not happening. I just want the policy. What happens when Janelle, Marcus, Martin, Kenny, Lynn, and Ron are gone? What does the next group do? So that's what this is more about.
Yeah. And it was time to update the policy. It really
What was
was.
it, 1999 or
2006.
2006? So
It was
20
time.
years, a little old.
So renewing the policy, is it legal going to look it over after?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, Aaron has seen a draft of
Okay.
it, so, but whenever you're done with it, then he absolutely will.
So then I would.
The amount on level one changes, then the same thing, does that correspond with level two?
Yeah, I was gonna put level 2, to right above level 1, so 5,001 to 40,000. Unless you wanna go lower, we could go to,
No, I just,
I'm trying to think, if you really think about the bids we're getting, and I think that's where your mind was when you were thinking about these levels.
Yeah.
well, and one other thing that doesn't factor in, and we haven't done this, but if there was an emergency where we needed to look at some competitive bids, there is the ability for the commission to call a special meeting
Yes.
if it's something that really can't wait.
That's where I'm going, guys. That's what needs to happen.
In the policy there, it does address emergency situations. And in that situation, you don't have to go out for bid because you need that product right then and there. But then after the first 72 hours is completed in a disaster, then you go out for bids and you follow your policy.
But the commission still could meet.
Absolutely.
Authorize.
And I would
Be meeting it.
I'd almost suggest that's what happened.
Oh, well, that, you're gonna have to meet anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so,
So that, once again, it goes, to me, it goes to the BOCC as well.
right. Mhm.
And the admin.
Mhm.
I mean, you're the filter in which it comes,
Right.
so. So the only, so level 2, I just want to add or BOCC to everything that says county administrator. I thought level 3 was fine.
So wait, you're good with the 5 to 40 on level 2?
We could, but we could change that if the commissioners think something different there. Where I was gonna go was maybe 10,000 or less for level 1.
Mhm.
But I want to get your guys' opinion here and what you guys think for non-competitive, what are you comfortable that theoretically they could spend without asking us? That's really what it comes down to. For me, it was 5,000. I'm willing to go up a little bit.
But then you give me the direction, even if the authority is at 10, bring 5 and above.
Could be,
Yes, yeah,
which you normally do. I want to keep stating that.
Right.
We normally bring this stuff up anyway.
Yeah.
For example, Amber, I mean, the 911,
Mhm.
yes, we have to agree, but for the most part, it is her fund to use in her operating budget.
Right.
So,
We have a procurement policy, so we're following that.
exactly.
Yes.
But it was helpful as she brought it to us and just, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, or the expectation.
That's
was.
exactly how I expect it to go.
Exactly, yes. Well,
So what happens if I was a department head and said it's my budget, I'll spend what I need to spend?
so if they're under me, they have to come through me anyway. If it's an
Yeah.
elected official, we still have a procurement policy that they follow.
And we still have to approve this.
Jennifer can't go out and just buy
And-
whatever election machine she wants.
And I want to be clear, I'm not saying they have to come to us, I'm saying or.
Yeah.
I'm saying we are authorized in the same capacity as the admin.
Mhm.
If you were like, hey, I want to know what's going on there, you could call Janelle and get involved.
Right.
And then we could be like, no, we want to bring that to the board.
If it should, it'd be ought to, but not necessarily will.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not mandatory,
Mhm.
it's good policy to do that.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how I'm looking at this document. Is 5 too low? Where are you guys comfortable with?
I personally think prices of everything today, 5 is too low, personally, because
It's not what it used to be.
it's not what it used to be. And that's the only reason I'm arguing that point.
You guys agree with 10,000?
I would be in agreement with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So I went ahead and wrote that, and I'll give you this final when I'm done.
Okay.
So let's do level 1, 10,000 under 10. Level 2 will be 10,001, no greater than 40. Level 4, level 3, 40,000. Then we get down to construction.
Yeah, they do the words more than 10,000, so we don't have to even put that 10,000 in. Just-
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Okay, local preference.
Yep.
What is probably Aaron's gonna have to guide us here on what we can do.
Mhm.
Did he make any comment on this?
He didn't make any comment on that, no,
Okay.
no.
So what that would be, guys, is the local bid allowance. So we would give them a percentage to be above what the most competitive bid would be. So right here, it would read 1%. So they could be 1% theoretically higher. We could still award that bid.
On page 10, there's a example.
Oh, thank you.
So what if, I'm just devil's advocate here, if they have to be within 1%, but the last 2 times we dealt with someone local, we weren't 100% pleased.
Right.
And so based on that factor, we still would not necessarily have to take their bid, or does that lock us in?
It doesn't lock us in because there's language in here that it could be the low bid or the best bid that
If
fits.
you look at value,
Yes.
and there are times that it is justified to
Mm-hmm.
use a bid that may not be the lowest, but if it's more convenient for servicing or picking a vehicle up, for example, or
Right.
the product, delivery time
Mhm.
could completion time
Impact,
on a
yes.
contract.
Mhm.
So there are other variables for,
Yes.
but it is always preferable to use local if it's,
Mhm.
if the value and service is there.
They kind of do that on the second proportion there, if you read it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd write that, what he's trying to say.
No, but I'll run it past Aaron and make sure we have got the correct legal language.
That's what I would ask.
Yeah.
There's a
I think
way.
if there's a justification to
Yeah, I
vary
totally
from
get
the
what
low
you're saying.
bid,
Right.
that's acceptable.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind, for sure.
Mhm.
I guess an effective operations could come into effect there. Like
Mhm.
if the local bid was gonna get us operational,
Mhm.
assuming that we could tie, I don't know, Aaron might know.
Yeah.
It's water over the bridge now, but I can remember decades ago, an instance where they brought a crew in and everything's going great on this road, and then all of a sudden, nobody's there, and it's like, oh, we moved everybody over to another project. And all of a sudden, this one, it's barricaded off, nobody can use it, there's no progress, nothing's happening.
Right.
And as communication wise, completion time,
Mhm.
long time ago, but still, all of a sudden, and it wasn't the county,
Right.
but that became an issue
Mhm.
on are we getting the
Well, and I think.
service expectation that we had?
Well, the service expectation, absolutely, but I think it also goes back to the relationship that we have with the vendors that we use, especially the vendors that we use on a regular basis too. So, yeah, that certainly helps.
And on those big projects, I mean, they have their issues they deal with too. I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes pieces of equipment break down and they
Right.
can't have one large piece, wherever they need it, they put it sometimes.
Mhm.
My initial thoughts on 1% is that it feels a little low for local preference. If
Mhm.
that's just my personal opinion when I'm looking at it, if you wanted to increase that percentage to say that it's locally, if you wanted to help to give more local preference, I suppose you could consider a change there, but I'm okay with the 1%.
Want to be competitive.
But there is a part of me that thinks that
Needs to be maybe 2.5, something.
it's just whatever's at the commission discretion there, but it is something like there are times where a local vendor may be preferred, but they can't quite compete with some sort of goods or services that they're providing at the exact same price. And I just want to make sure that they're not 100% ruled out, and there could be maybe more of an option in that case for the commission to consider that local vendor. Instead, right now, we're kind of locking them out if they're under that, or they can't get within that 1%.
And in the past, you have accepted a local bid versus a lower bid from a vendor that lives outside of the county, primarily on vehicles. We've done that. I don't remember what the dollar difference was. I want to say it was in that 2,500 to 5 range. It's been long enough ago, but I think we've done that in the past. So, because it's worth not driving over to have the, vehicle maintenance done on it or whatever the case may be. So. Yeah.
Oh, and they're putting money into the pot too.
Right.
For the community, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be a boring one.
Okay. The fire chief is here if you wanted to take a break or if you want to continue on.
I'm almost done. Hold on. No, this is important to me.
Make a note.
Contract documentation, annual value exceeds, I'd like to put in 10.
Instead of the 40?
I would, it is more of a notice than it is a approval.
What page are you on?
10, section G. I don't know if we need consent as we need notification. Which we do that through the budget review anyway.
We do.
We do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's how we write that. Those will be reviewed in budgetary reviews
Yep.
and further agreed, and something along that line.
Okay.
I don't want to just rubber stamp anything under 40,000.
Yeah. which it's gonna be contracts that we have primarily for phone, IT, our annual maintenance for some of our software, things like that.
Which, like I said, we went through all that last year too.
Right.
And I realized that, I think just, and I don't know if we need to dive into it super deep, but just,
It's not a bad thing to have some generalities in your policy. So you can always go back in and say, no, in this instance, this is what the commission would want.
Other than especially on renewals, I mean, some of that we see coming.
Right.
And it's not like,
right.
wow,
Mhm.
took us by surprise.
Right. You should see it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this would authorize them to renew for 5 years is why I'm bringing this up.
Right.
So I want to make sure I mean, 5 years at 45 grand, 40 grand
Yes.
is $200,000. We should probably know about that.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, definitely.
Is where I'm going. Okay, yes, we can take a break now. The rest of this mainly.
It's just maybe adding this,
Publication, destruction, I mean,
adding in
Lease.
Board of County Commission and that,
I
so.
thought you read the lease pretty well.
You know, I always watch, those TV ads on TV and people buy maintenance for their vehicles.
So the impractical is the one you were talking about, I think.
We didn't have that for cost.
The only thing I want you to do there is put it at 10.
Yep.
No.
Of course, they're gonna have to review this before we vote, but.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know what else.
So do some cleanup, I'll send it back out.
You get old brand.
Yeah. They have the air review.
I did feel more. That was
What's wrong on there?
I do. First draft, and like I said, we haven't done this for a long time, so it definitely was time.
We're gonna, for the public, I believe we're gonna go ahead and take a break at this point. We'll resume our regular meeting at 11 a.m. If you guys are curious, we're gonna go look at our new rescue truck that we got, or Chapman got, I should say. So anyway, we'll be back at 11. Oh, don't leave.
1700 all the way. They followed in Simpson Road. They went north, then we took Old 40 again. But yeah,
You're gonna
I'm
put a
getting,
sand
that-
plant down on Clements, I'm telling you.
yeah, I'm getting nothing out of Schilling for running thousands of tons of rock
You know,
out of the
the
county.
rock, it's the sand, you know, as well as me, sand.
Sand is heavy.
Way more dense.
Yeah, sand's heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah, yes.
So every time they come on that blacktop,
Yeah, crunching.
they're crunching that road.
And
I'm
up to
telling
that
you,
stop sign,
it will break.
Lynn probably remembers, but you know, when we had a hard time holding that stop sign there at Chuck Clemens's,
Yeah.
where they come there. And that's why that's all concrete. We built that bridge on Old 40 and then was able to tie that
Call your buddy.
up to the bridge. And it cost a lot of money.
Reynolds and.
I mean, before, we could never even stop the slide from all their trucks hauling sand.
They're hauling every day right now. I was just curious.
Yes.
I see them drive by.
And we had that quarry out there with us, two quarries.
Yeah.
And we want the commerce. Obviously, you want business,
Oh, yeah.
but it is hard on those roads.
Yes, it is.
So,
That's
It's-
probably one of our biggest complaints when they're coming out of the quarry
Yeah.
and how bad the road is, but,
I was asking about the same plant.
And,
oh, gotcha.
yeah, over here.
Over here,
Sand's plant.
Yep. Yeah,
And we don't get any.
we don't get
kind of
anything from
any-
it. And that was, the quarries were negotiated with KDOT years and years, I mean,
Right.
in the 70s or
There's
80s.
the jobs we should be getting paid for because they're tracked. You
Yes.
know, that once they, okay, I'm sure they got the concrete bid out here to patch all I-70 from K-15 to 2 miles past Main
Yeah.
Road.
And we'll get a pittance off of it.
Yes, well,
Yes.
I don't know that we get paid for the concrete though. That's what
No,
I'm
we don't.
saying.
We just get paid for the
Or
rock.
asphalt, and that's what I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
telling you. I followed Schilling. Schilling's been hauling for 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And they've been hauling 1,400 all the way down Marymount, 1,700, all the way in Salina. And they're setting a plan over there. They got the Highway 140 project that we'll hear about.
We just
on the
removed
first.
where I'm going here.
Next week on Wednesday, when we're over
Yeah,
there.
we need to, and high enough up they would know,
Dawn?
Dawn maybe would
We
know.
cut,
Yeah, let's
You
talk to
know,
her.
we realize that
we start closing our rail lines.
you're
They
pulling gravel out of the yard to your project when we get it cut up.
Yeah.
lines running, that's
So we getting it cut when a contractor is setting up his asphalt plant or a contractor setting up his cement plant.
westbound.
Is that rock,
Back and
is
look
that,
at
right,
that.
is that rock covered?
I gotta go back and look at.
I don't think so.
But I don't think it is either.
But it's not either,
Yeah, I mean,
because that's the contractor's responsibility
yeah,
for that rock. The other rock, they buy outright through the,
I was talking about that too.
yeah.
you
I
know,
want to train.
they buy the concrete by the yard from that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we're getting
Rain.
rid of that. But in the meantime, you ought to see the mountain of rock they
Oh my
hauled
God.
out of our quarry over there at one
A lot of
foot.
money, a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was their margin.
On the east side of 135,
Uh-huh.
on that first exit there, they're on the north side.
Yeah.
And, it's huge. I just finally followed the truck over there. Where are you putting the plant? What do you-
Yeah, yeah.
I ran into
Accepted, set up. and-
General Foreman or whatever was showing, said, yeah, we got the 140 project,
Nothing.
which we will hear about.
Yes, we will.
First, they'll tell us.
You want to go ride?
That one will easily come out because they're starting.
On Monday, yeah. Yeah.
They had to announce
I was
it.
getting a lot of stuff.
And I forget how many days that one's gonna be,
This one out here is till September.
till September. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You'll be 65 in one line.
Taking care of the people at Notre Dame.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're making
it's
progress
not
on
the-
that bridge.
It's not the slow down, it's if somebody has a wreck in one lane, then you ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah. The, the flyby.
Okay, and the flyover is going to town, isn't it? They're-
It is going to
Yeah.
Martin, I swear, the way the people coming off the boat,
Yes,
that is dangerous.
that's dangerous right there.
Very dangerous.
I checked that a couple times lately and I went, oh my.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's done, it'll be
Oh, it'll be great.
great. Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, you guys got your,
Bitcoin's already over, man.
Huh?
Bitcoin's already over.
It's down to 70 and.
I know, but it was you know, I remember 10 years ago, I
You don't
bought it
think-
for $500 a coin.
You don't think you'll get back above 100?
No, but good luck.
I
My buddy
I didn't
swears
get
it
much, I
will.
got a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the gang, the bust has already happened on that.
Well, a lot of the emotion,
Yeah.
euphoria that drives stuff up sometimes.
Are you guys attending this or just let me announce it?
I just thought, should we announce it? I don't know.
What is it?
It's a core community invite for Hank.
Graduation ceremony for the Harrington Hearts Core Committee. It's on the 30th, which you'll be tied up for the township night. But I mean, it can be announced. Since you did receive the invite, I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, we usually just say we've received an invite,
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
but I didn't know if anybody was attending.
And I actually sat at the table at the Mac breakfast with someone that's starting the core group in Junction City, and they had heard about the one in Abilene and Harrington.
Oh, wow.
And so they're expanding there.
Good.
Pretty enthused about it.
I think it's been a huge, huge benefit.
But the one we have here has really got attention of others.
Yes. Yes. Do you have any questions about Township Night? It starts at 2. With supper being served at 5. We'll have, there's quite a few vendors that they've invited in to make a short little presentation.
Should we call it Township Night if it starts at 2?
Well, true, township meeting, annual township meeting, so. And then we'll have time to chat with them and see if there's any questions or concerns that they have. And I want them to try to start working together on things. You know, Wally Wolf in his township has been very good about drafting documents and sharing them and that. So just using those resources amongst each other, I think is big.
I noticed when you look through the township budgets of all of them, they're sitting with pretty good reserve there, it looks like. But for the cost of rock today, it's not enough.
Right.
So
Well, they'll be starting their budget process. Jennifer will be reaching out and setting up meetings.
I'm gonna tell you something I heard from a township operator, road grader operator.
Mhm.
Said, we're still operating, we're just doing a lot less road.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
That's what I heard.
Yep.
And I think things are gonna work for a while. It's just
Something to
Right.
how many miles of road are we maintaining?
Mhm.
Or question to
How
have.
has the rock price changed so far?
This year went up about $1 a ton.
$1 a ton from
Uh,
Uh,
27.
One road's like $23.95, so it went up from $22.95 or road rock.
freight's changed though.
Uh,
Freight.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're having somebody else haul it, it's gone up quite substantially again. Because now they're paying $5 a gallon for
Yes.
diesel again. So
Yeah.
Or about.
So Martin, when does it constitute you need gravel and you don't need gravel?
Go as long as you can without it.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Right,
fine,
we-
right.
we
Yeah, I mean,
put-
that's-
We
With
put.
no rain, you don't need much right
Yeah.
now.
We push our roads to the limit. I mean, I'm telling you, when I started, we ran about 275 to 300 ton a mile. And I already have it down to about 115 ton a mile per year per maintenance.
I see.
Now, what we do is where the road is not being used,
Mhm.
I borrow that rock and take care of the bad spots, or 1,800 or 1,400. The overused roads are 2,700, whatever it may be. So we shift our money as needed. But yeah, we've cut tremendously far back on the amount of gravel we put out. And we try to keep the road shape better as best you can and do with less rock. I mean,
And we have good maintainers, which also helps.
yes,
And
almost
stay-
definitely. That's a big.
And they
part.
stay on top of it, especially when we have to go back in and work the road, you
Yeah.
know, but it's an ongoing process.
Yes.
You know, 100 ton a mile, that's.
That's not a lot of
four
rock.
dump truck- Or 4 belly dump loads in a mile is what we're trying to get by. And which, if you watch my guys, you'll see them dump 8 loads in that mile, because that's the mile that required it.
Right.
And, but at the same time, there's a section of road somewhere else that I'm not putting it on at this time.
Yeah.
And we've been at that for quite a few years, moving the rock around. You know.
Because they just
I
continue.
mean, it starts out, every mile's got so many dollars worth of budget for rock, and then we move it as we have to make it work as best we can.
It'd be nice if-
Because rock,
Oh,
I'm gonna ask a crazy idea. I'm not proposing we're gonna do this, okay? Is it crazy to pave your roads? Would you end up saving money rather than dumping rock on your roads every year? In the long run. And I know we can't do that. I know we can't do every road, but like
it's
generalized
it would
question.
take so many years to recover, but yes, and we know this from down south,
mhm.
people will take a tore up paved road.
Over.
We tried to move one back to gravel years ago, south of Carlton.
Mhm.
You know, that in them hills and the maintenance had went away and we didn't want to spend any money down there and they filled this in the hallways. Don't take our paved road away.
Right.
I mean, we'd rather have dodge potholes and keep paved than have them go back to a gravel road. And the only other thing that does do is it does bring up the value of where people might build a house and,
Well,
you know, like I say,
Think of like,
a road out here with
Oh,
a light.
paper versus rock.
yeah.
We've done some discussion, but after that bridge built,
Yes, that's gonna be
I
our
would-
first
we
project.
figured to pave another mile and a half and turn that into a paved road out here. And if nothing else, in 5 years, there'll be 5, 10 acres, 4-acre lots, whatever out there. And that will be lived on. That will be a major increase to the property values out there to make that pay.
So that's about 200 additional roads of county roads only.
105,
I'm sorry,
107 miles.
107 miles.
107 miles is all the gravel we have.
Yeah, the rest are paved.
Yeah, the rest are paved, 208 paved. So, I mean, we already have 2/3 of our roads are paved that we take care of. The ones that are hurting are, they have all the roads, or the townships.
Yeah.
They actually have all the roads.
and I don't know in Ron's district or Lynn's, but like 1700, for example, is that a county road? Yeah. How much rock do we put on that road?
Oh, no, 1700.
You know, am I thinking right?
Which,
Or is it, yes.
Oh,
No,
1400,
no, going north.
here's your map.
2700. Yeah.
4,700?
Yeah.
Yeah, that road.
You know, there's some-
up to be paved.
Yeah, like I look at that road, yeah, right below 18. So you go to that road, that's a wide, I don't know if you guys have been on that road before. It's as wide as a highway.
Right, when that was purchased, it made a road years ago. Somebody thought that was gonna be the main thoroughfare. As in with 3,400, they bought more right away. It's not a 40, 50.
Oh, so that's why,
That's why it's like that.
Yeah.
and that's county.
That was
right?
done from way back when they bought, you know, somebody tried to figure out where will things happen and whatever. This needs a lot of right.
Well,
ways.
Manchester at that
Yeah.
point was bigger, so dropping down and.
Yes, that's why 3,400
It's
was.
it's why.
It is.
Yeah.
And it did get paid for a couple miles,
Mhm.
and then they cut, but the theory was they were gonna go right on over to 15,
Yeah,
and I'm sure money stopped that back in the day.
but 2,700, I think, is
From Fair Road to Solomon Road
ours,
is ours,
is
not
ours.
all.
Oh, it has to be.
In some places, I mean, it would wash out so quick. I mean, it's more than just pouring concrete on it.
Yep, you'd have to build the road, and you'd have to
Engineering.
engineer it to make it suitable for a paved road, yes. Because a lot of gravel roads are designed to take water over the top, so to speak. They are what they are.
If you want some paved roads, though, I have 3 or 4 citizens that have notified me in the last few years that they'd like to be on that list.
You on that road?
Ron's got some too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Not to me, you guys.
you're right. I'm gonna get started here. I call this meeting to order. If we'd all rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Little side note, I called Janelle, I think last week, and I know haven't done it yet, but we are gonna put out an announcement for the ability to apply to be on the invocation.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna put a sign up form online. That's how we're gonna try to go about that, allow people to sign up online. And we're not there yet. I just thought I'd make that, we're gonna work on that.
IT's doing some testing and we should be able to roll something out here next week.
I apologize, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up
That's
yet,
okay. No.
but I just wanted you guys to know, I know Lynn, you asked me where that was, and we're gonna try to put together something for them to sign up, so. Okay, moving down to the approval of agenda. Today, we have the 2026 Telecommunications Week proclamation. We have the consideration of KVK's, we have a tabled motion, the consideration of KVK's proposal to replace additional RTUs at Sterile Hall. The approval of the consultant for Safe Streets for All grant program, the consideration of a cereal malt beverage license for Enterprise Mart. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consent agenda, the minutes are provided for March 19th meeting. Payroll of $448,355.74. I have a motion to approve consent agenda.
Oh, so moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner comments, committee reports. Ron, do you want to kick it off?
Just real quickly, I'm thankful for the weather we have. Fields, the guys are out in the fields working, so things are looking pretty good there. And basically, that's all I have.
Thanks, Ron. Lynn?
Earlier this morning, I attended the Military Affairs Council breakfast over at Junction City, and it's kind of a regional breakfast and really gives you a chance to get some updates on Fort Riley, but also things that are going on in our region, some of the surrounding cities and communities. And there were some people from Chapman that were there, and Manhattan and Junction City, and also Fort Riley. I do plan to attend a township meeting that we're having on March 30th, and also in April, the Highway Association meeting. So I can give the alphabet there, but it's a long name, North Central Kansas.
County Highway Association or
Yeah,
something like that.
Central
Yes, official, yeah.
And actually, Martin is
Thanks.
Vice President.
is
Yeah.
vice president. And
Wanna have that out.
so we need to make some signs. If we have them for the 250th, we could have them for
Mhm.
the vote for Martin for president.
New V.
We get lower prices on gravel, I think, if, not really, but wishful thinking.
Sorry.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Lynn. I don't have anything. I did not have any committee. I'm actually going to miss North Central today. Marcus will go on my behalf because of NIMS training. So I do not have any other announcements other than that. Moving on to presentation and petitions, we got the 2026 Telecommunications Week proclamation. You want to read it or you want me to read it? You want me to read it? I'll read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not
She
quite
does
sure how
have
this
a-
works, but I had a little bit of a presentation before.
Oh, sorry. Come up here. No, come on. No,
Okay, you're good.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm getting in your way. Let me just be quiet.
I'm not quite sure how it works out, trying to update stuff. I'm learning.
The only difference is you'll just state your name, which you already do.
Where do we want that so it shows on the screen?
Yeah.
You want to,
Yeah, I
I don't want it in front of Janelle, but it might be,
I'd show the public
Okay.
more than us.
for both of us.
Yeah,
There we go.
you can get up there.
That is fine. That is fine.
Yeah, lots more.
Yep. No problem there.
All right, so, Amber, 911 director, I appreciate this time, to come in and speak to you guys a little bit about dispatch as we go through. I just find it important that sometimes the citizens or people recognize what all dispatch actually entails. So thank you for letting me do this, but becoming a dispatcher is just one of those jobs or careers that most people probably just land upon. It's not really set out to be, it's not really something somebody sets out to be when they grow up, unless family's probably involved in law enforcement, then you might hear it sometimes. But what I mean by that is if you went into schools and you talk to kids and teens, what they want to be when they grow up, very little would actually say they want to be a dispatcher. Most of them want to be cops, firefighters, and then sometimes you get some medics sprinkled in there. And then most of the public, when you ask them, what do you think a dispatcher does? They usually give you things along the lines of like more of a glorified secretary type job. And then if you ask most dispatchers if this is what they thought they would always want it to be or set out to be, probably not. So that's why I think it's important just to speak more on it. It's one of those jobs that once you do it, you see that you actually do make a difference, satisfaction of truly helping people. And after a while, you really can't see yourself doing anything else. Like what would I leave after being a dispatcher that gave you that fulfillment of actually helping people, unless you went on to be like a cop or something more hands-on. So when people come in and shadow or visit, do a tour, the thing I heard the most in my 18 years was, wow, I didn't know you guys had so many screens. So I put this together and I've used it at a couple different things, but this is the best life-size version I could give you of actually how many screens a dispatcher uses to complete their day. There's actually a few more that sit off to the side, but I think you get a good gist of actually what they're using. So earlier when you say you have some screens that you can put that on, we'd probably find a spot. And then after they spend some time with us and shadowing, we always end up hearing like, I didn't have any idea what you guys really did still. So with that, I think just like I said, putting it out there is very important to me of what they truly do. Along the years, one of the clips that I've come across that summed up pretty good of what dispatcher does, if it's all right with you guys, play a short clip. It's called So the Sheriff Hired a Dispatcher. It's just a few minutes.
And on that first day, the sheriff looked down at his plan for the sheriff's office and said, I need someone to watch over these deputies. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher. The sheriff said, I need someone who will get up before dawn, be away from home for half the day, miss out on family life, work a 40-hour week in 3 days. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher. The sheriff said, I need someone who will answer 911 lines, give pre-arrival instructions, deal with rude people, ask all the right questions, call all the right people, document it all at 100 words per minute. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher. The sheriff said, I need someone willing to sit at a computer all day, call out a record, cancel that record, give directions, listen to their problems, give the same directions again, answer their supervisor's questions, put callers on hold, run a registration, run a driver's license, run a criminal history, give a case number, squeeze in a bathroom break, find that information, add that information into the call, find a translator, talk to the media, calm the crying parents on the phone, deal with irate parents, give CPR instructions, stay on the phone and listen to the gut-wrenching screams, and then calmly answer the phone and help the next one. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher. The sheriff said, I need someone to watch over 100 deputies on the radio, check on the unit, repeat everything they say, type everything they say, run all those driver's licenses, run their registrations, check on that stolen car, run 4 criminal histories, check on that wanted man, check on that unit again, print everything, call the district attorney, call the judge, call the body car, call the other agency, check on that unit, dispatch the call holding, inform the sergeant, call the battalion, eat a cold dinner, call for mutual aid, call for life flight, get more backup, check on that pursuit, work that shooting, stay calm and cool as steel when you hear your deputy screaming for help. And they need to send them all home safely at the end of the night. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher. The sheriff said, I need someone who will do all that for an entire shift with a smile, no complaints, and then do it all again tomorrow. So the sheriff hired a dispatcher.
Pretty good.
So
That's the next video.
another thing that I wanted to share with you guys was several weeks back, a lady named Jade had reached out to me and wanted to share her personal experience. So she wrote us a letter. So it's to all the 911 dispatchers in Dickinson County. I don't know the woman who answered my call that day. I don't know her name, and I have no idea what she looks like, but I will never forget her voice. 8 years ago, when I was only a child, I was in a singular vehicle accident with 3 of my friends, all of us 16 or younger. Just moments before the accident, we were all having fun, listening to music. Specifically, It Wasn't Me by Shaggy and laughing, normal teenage things, but then everything changed in an instant. The crash was quiet. I don't really remember any sounds coming from it, not even the music. It felt like it lasted 10 hours, but also 10 seconds at the same time. When the car finally stopped rolling, all there was silence. My body felt numb, but my heart was racing. Everything that was inside the car flew out except my cell phone. It sat on the front seat untouched and unscratched. I remember the driver of the vehicle. I'd actually just met him that day. I was too nervous to talk, so I dialed 911 and handed him the phone while I checked up on my two friends. They were both breathing, it seemed like. I noticed the driver struggling to talk to the dispatcher, so I took the phone and took over. Keep in mind, I was only 16. Listening back on the call, I was so obviously in shock, more worried about calling my mom and wondering where my shoe was. The lady on the other end, she asked me to keep checking on the boys, so I did. When she asked me to check on the name, for the first time, he was breathing, but the second time I checked on him, he wasn't anymore. I sat with him for a couple minutes and told her that he was no longer breathing. She kept reminding me myself just to breathe, and so I did. I checked up on the other boy. She asked me to make sure he stayed still, so I did what any teenage girlfriend would do, and I yelled at him to stay still. I wasn't yelling out of anger. I was actually terrified. I was trying to do exactly what that lady told me, trying to save the people I love. Even while I was crying and hyperventilating, even when I was yelling, even when it felt like everything was collapsing around me, even when I couldn't find my dang shoe, she stayed calm. Her voice never rose. She never sounded frustrated with me. She just continued to guide me. She stayed steady, clear, and focused for me. She gave me clear instructions on what to do. She gave me something to hold on to until help arrived, again, when it felt like everything was collapsing. In the middle of all this, she kept me anchored. She kept me calm. You guys take people's calls on what could be the worst days of their life. You step into someone else's trauma through a headset and make it yours just to help. You may never know what happens once the little red button is pressed and we hang up. You may never know how long your calmness and your voice stays with someone. But I want you to know this, her voice stayed with me for 8 years and will continue to stay with me forever. I'm an adult now and I even have 2 beautiful daughters, but I still think about her calmness. I still think about how in one of the most traumatic moments of my life, a stranger helped me, a 16-year-old girl she had never met, hold it together long enough to do what needed to be done. So to the team at Dickinson County, thank you. Thank you for answering that phone, for staying steady and calm when other people are falling apart. Your work matters more than you might ever realize. You may not remember them, but trust me, they will always remember you, Jade. So I thank Jade for writing that because we as telecommunicators, we sometimes need reminded why we do this job. Like dispatchers work nights, weekends, overtime, holidays. They often miss out on family events, but it's really this is why we do it, because we do help people on their bad or worst days. We send them help. And I think this is truly what we do more than secretarial skills. So with that is why I wanted to share that with you guys. There's a National Telecommunicator Week yearly. This year it's April 13th through the 19th. I know it's a tad early, but due to some other obligations on my side and your guys' agenda, that's why I'm here today. But that's why I'm asking you guys as the commissioners to help me recognize the hard work of our telecommunicators of Dickinson County and with the official proclamation. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That was powerful. It was. Thank you, Amber. Okay, I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas this week marks National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, a time to honor and recognize the critical role 911 dispatchers play in ensuring the safety and well-being of our community. These often unsung heroes serve to the first point of contact during emergencies, providing a lifeline to those in need and coordinating a swift and effective response. Dispatchers are highly skilled, trained professionals who possess exceptional communication skills, critical thinking abilities, and the capacity to remain calm and focused under immense pressure. They answer emergency calls, assess situation with remarkable speed and accuracy, and dispatch the appropriate emergency personnel, including law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics, and other emergency responders. They most often do this while interacting with distressed callers and managing rapidly evolving situations where every second counts. Their responsibilities extend far beyond simply answering calls. Dispatchers also provide pre-arrival instructions to callers, guiding them through potentially life-saving measures such as CPR, first aid, or childbirth until help arrives. They coordinate with multiple agencies and resources, ensuring a seamless and efficient response to emergencies of all types and magnitudes. They serve as a crucial link between those in need and emergency services that can provide assistance, often making split-second decisions that can mean the difference between life and death. The work of dispatchers is demanding and relentless. They work tirelessly around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, including weekends, holidays, and nights. They sacrifice precious time with their families and loved ones to ensure the safety and security of our community. The unwavering dedication, commitment to public service, and the ability to handle high-stress situations with remarkable composure deserve our deepest respect and gratitude. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week is an opportunity to express our heartfelt appreciation for those unsung heroes who work behind the scenes to keep us safe. They are calm voices in the storm, the guardians of our well-being, and the vital link between our community and emergency services. Therefore, the Board of County Commissioners do hereby proclaim April 13th through April 19th Telecommunications Week. And with that, I will ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept this week as communication week.
I'll second it.
Any discussion before we vote? Great presentation, very powerful. Thank you for what you guys do down there. Very important. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Amber.
You want a picture of the?
We could do that, yeah.
You want a picture here?
Not really by myself.
We can have Janelle stand up here with you.
Let's go take a picture up there.
Since you were covered up during the,
Oh, that's, I don't, right.
this is your comeback.
I'll just take.
Amber, yes. Janelle, why don't you come up here with us or have Marcos too?
Yeah.
Jennifer or Martin,
Whomever.
get the whole group.
You guys want to stand?
Yeah, you tell us what to do. You give instructions.
Right in, give us instructions.
No, I'll walk you out.
Mark, shake it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amber.
That sounds sells.
We probably need one for our records too.
We do.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to a brief public comment section of today's meeting. If County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf would read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comment shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you. I don't believe we have any public comments today. Go ahead and move on. First would be the tabled item to consider KVK's proposal. I'd like to discuss this before we go to a motion to untable.
You want to hear my report first?
I do. Oh, I do that. I do that every once in a while.
Okay, don't worry
I'm
about it.
sorry.
Don't worry.
Yes. How about we hear from our county officers, and we'll start for County Administrator General Doctor. I've done that twice now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Commissioners, the appraiser's office continues with the payment under protest hearings. They've got several scheduled this week. The Public Works Department is working on the solid waste management plan, and we'll be bringing that to you here shortly for review. That's an annual plan that has to be reviewed every 5 years. So there's a committee that works on it as well. They're hiring summer help. So if there's a teenager or college student, 18 years and older that are interested in working for the county during the summer and earning some extra money, please apply. We will be starting the Purple Wave auction. I think it started actually this week on some of the surplus property that you had declared. The other thing I wanted to note was that the bridge at 1160 1100 Avenue has started. They moved in on Monday and it is now closed between Indy and Jeep Road. There are signs for detours around there, so make sure everybody's aware of that. As Chancey mentioned earlier, he's holding an exercise on Monday for the Abilene High School CERT class. That's be their final exercise. So he's pretty excited about that. And you have your upcoming township meeting on Monday as well. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
The Dickinson County 250th grants, I guess the reminder that the application for that closes
Closes on the 30th and
March 31st.
March 31st, pardon me, and then we'll be reviewing and bringing recommendations to you. There's been at least 8 with several pending applications being worked on. So the money that you allocated for that is, you're going to have some tough time choosing, I would think.
We have, you can advise us, but we might have to have a special meeting or meet early some morning to review those.
So we could do it a couple different ways because it's supposed to be sent out on the 15th. We could build some time in on the next couple meetings for you to review. The 9th is your department manager meeting and we have a presentation scheduled on another matter already. So, or you could do it during the regular meeting. So, but if you wanted to call a special meeting, we could do that. You know, it's entirely up to you. Let's get through the application process, see how many that we have and how many that we would bring forward. You'll have all of them to take a look at, but there'll be recommendations.
Okay.
That might be something you give us, you know, when you're ready, you give us this application.
Absolutely.
And we review those a
Yes.
week ahead of time.
Yes.
On our own time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That could be
Too warm
that'd be a
ourselves.
great way to do it.
Any other updates? Thank you, Janelle. County council isn't here until the first of the month meeting on the department head meeting. Notices and communications, County Clerk Jennifer Gayton.
Hello. The commissioners received an invitation from the Harrington Hearts Core community for a graduation ceremony that they're going to be holding on March 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Harrington Elementary School Gymnasium. Also, a notice of intent to request release of funds for the commercial rehabilitation project located at 109 Northwest 3rd in Abilene will be posted on the county website tomorrow, March 27th. Any public comments submitted in writing by April 6, 2026 will be considered by the county commission prior to authorizing submission of a request for release of funds. To view the entire document, go to our website at www.dkcoks.gov on the county clerk page. That would be it for me.
Thank you. Okay, now we're ready for the tabled item. Fun. So first we would need to untable this, but we had some updates on the KBK bid for the RTUs on Sterile Hall. We got a reply back from the insurance, essentially saying that they would not cover the additional 4 RTU units, and it would have to come out of the county pocket. At least for now. I don't know if there's any recourse for that. We could make, basically they're going to deny the claim. Okay. So in other words, we're going to have to pay out of pocket around $43,954. Am I right with that?
Yes.
That won't be covered by insurance.
Right, they won't be covered. There may be a little bit difference on that between what the insurance payment was and what they were
Within
getting.
the generalized range. In other words, 4 of them aren't going to get replaced and covered by insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even in their response, they did note that the consultant agrees that it's in the county's best interest to replace all 8 units, but they said that the other 4 would be at the county's expense. And I did go up and review the RTUs on the roof, and you can see a pretty clear, based on it, he mentioned how that storm on April 29th of last year, the hail was produced from a north to northwest direction that it was blowing. And you can see very clearly that the RTUs that happen to be facing that direction, that they're pretty much total, like every single bar is bent. But the other ones, there was a hit here and there, and they're stating that those likely came from previous storms and just had not, a claim was not filed at that time. And so that could have been any time over the last 20 years. It's hard to review that specifically. When I was meeting with KVK on the roof, they just pointed out to where some of those dings, even though there may only be 4 or 5 dings on this side compared to the other that was completely, like the entire RTU was covered. He said those need to be replaced due to how deep they went, and that's what K-Camp agreed with that statement, but did not seem to be interested in helping on the additional coverage of that.
And do we know that they're not operational? Have
They
we
are
actually
still
like tried to turn them on?
operational. I will say they did operate in the condition that they are today all summer long.
Where I'm going
last
with
year,
that, yeah.
Because the storm, so it really would be a matter of, you could continue this direction. At some point, KVK feels pretty clearly that you're going to freeze up, they're going to overcompensate because there's 4 that may not be operating very well. So then the other 4 are going to try to take on that. It could cause them to freeze up. And the likelihood that it's going to happen, it's going to be probably a large event that they're trying to force the air in. And that's where you're going to see.
I'm gonna say it how I see it, and I'd love for your guys' opinion. If the HVAC guy came to my house, said you got some hail damage on your AC unit and it's still working, are you gonna replace it? I want all of us to answer that honestly, because I bet you won't.
I will say the 4 that the insurance covered after I saw it, I would replace those.
You would?
In my own personal opinion, I would look at that. And
Get some
based on the
pictures,
condition
Jim.
they're in, let me see, actually, I emailed.
And maybe I'm wrong, I'm just saying, I know, be devil's advocate here.
And on the same token, what concerns me is we're in March. We have hail from now till 3 months from now through the summer months. So you're gonna put a new unit up there right in the middle of a storm season. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, unless, I know you have insurance, but it don't usually cover 100%, I don't believe, but I could be wrong. That's just the feeling I have.
Now the concern there, and I would say, when you're talking about it, you could consider at least the 4. The 4 looked pretty rough. When I was on the roof, it happened to be Pheasants Forever was coming out, and they knew that the temperature was going to warm up a little bit.
The 4 that they cover, I'm saying we're gonna do.
Go ahead.
I would like to,
The other
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I'm saying the 4 that they're not covering.
Yeah.
I can't,
Don't know that.
me personally, I'll let it go to a vote, but me personally, it's a no.
And I would say on those other 4, when you were asking from my opinion personally, on the other 4 that are not completely totaled, if that was I probably would not be replacing that today. I would just see that there's a couple of dings in there, but I would also, I know I'm not gonna have an event with 500 people in my
Yeah,
house
I know,
anytime
I know,
soon. So
but-
worst case scenario, my kids are gonna be a little warm at night for a couple.
But if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I'm not,
I can hear you on that.
This is, I don't want to sound crazy, but the 4 that are horribly bad, that really need to be replaced, can those be the ones that be replaced? Because those are the ones that aren't insured, right? Those
No, those are the ones that.
are very bad.
insurance covered.
Bad for
Those are the ones that are questionable.
Okay, I
That's what
stand
we're talking
corrected.
about.
There's 8 total.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just as a point, the reason that they are recommending going and replacing all 8 is because we only have to have the crane there one time.
I get that,
All the work.
but go look at the crane chart.
Absolutely, yeah. I understand.
I don't know.
We can do whatever we want, we can bring it to a vote, I'm just letting you guys know right now, it's the no on the additional 4 for me.
So I can just, for your information, so this is one of the units that they're not replacing.
Did you get a good look at it?
Sorry, yeah, did you you
I
can zoom in a little bit and you can see, like, this is where you get down and you can actually see that it hit a coil there, like it's down low enough.
What most guys would do would try to comb that first.
That's right.
And then you might throw some leak in there
Yeah.
keep it from, there's ways to recover them, that's all I'm getting at. A farmer radiator, go look at a tractor radiator and tell me what you think about it.
And now I'll show you just so you can tell the difference on what a total unit looks like over what one that they're not replacing was.
It's
Pretty clear that every
Yes.
single section of this is just wiped out. So this one, the four that they're covering, I think should be addressed because at some point.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, my deal was, yeah, you guys know that. I'm not-
If each of us walk out and look at our radiators in the front of our car, we would replace our cars. Because radiators on a car get, from the power washers to the bugs on the road to sticks and stuff like that, are smashed pretty good in front, which would look much like that.
Even if there's a leak, they can repair leaks.
Mhm.
And solder leaks. So let's,
Well, I'd probably take a little bit of a different, one of the things I take into consideration is the fact that it's 40-some thousand dollars, 43. We've said this has lasted 20 years, so maybe a new one if it goes 20 years. I mean, we're talking just a couple $1,000s a year. So from a maintenance standpoint, does it make sense to even replace one or two of those if we don't do all four? I mean, or are we just going to wait in a year from now or 2 years from now, we have to replace those four?
oh, when you wait for the new hailstorm to come.
Well, and you know, they can come every year, but I mean, you can also, I mean, no one knows, obviously, but
If you wait-
maybe 5 years, 10 years between hailstorms.
If you wait and we don't have that, it gives us time to plan in the budget as well and know that this is something that we're facing and we can take into consideration when that planning is going on.
Can any of that be taken out of the Sterl Hall Maintenance Fund, or is that something that we're moving something for this, which really is an
But it's a-
interior of the building?
It's a
and then
it's a
interior of the
capital
building?
expense though. I mean, it's a capital expense.
And the Stroll Hall Fund is,
Sterol.
For Sterl Hall.
It's pretty well, we've already utilized that over, most of that was finalized with the kitchen.
lighting.
The lighting.
There's like 10,000 left in it or
Yeah.
something.
And then the commercial kitchen, did a significant amount of that when that was put in a few years ago. And so then once we did the lighting, that pretty much finished off the Sterol Hall Fund.
A little bit
We've
left.
just been funding the maintenance for Sterol Hall at this point out of the general fund maintenance, which comes out of administration at this point. So the building maintenance fund. Or building maintenance. fund.
So Marcus, how many dollars does it bring in a year, the building, for rental?
For us, zero.
Zero, because the Fair Board manages it on our behalf. So they keep the rental to take care of that.
Technically an expense.
We have expense for the maintenance that comes out,
Buildings are
and then
liabilities.
for our
Call what they are.
custodian that goes out there and
Assets, but-
and works as well.
Utilizing it for.
Can we all reshare the city, county, and others share in the expense of that building? Because I'm sure we all use it. I don't want to stir up them. That's a lot of money.
I think those are all
I think
conversations.
it's, yeah, I think it's a different conversation.
Sorry.
No, because that's part of the story of Sterol Hall and how it's kind of been shifted around from the fair to the city to the county over the years. So I think
Talk
this
about that
type
a
of
little
thing
bit
comes
more.
up.
Mhm.
So
No,
there
you're
will be
fine.
some more conversations, I think, that need to come from this, but it's, at this point, currently, we're kind of responsible for the maintenance of the building, for the way it stands right now.
Because we own the building.
And people that rent the building appreciate that it's a reasonable expense in comparison to what other buildings in surrounding counties
Mhm.
and in the public sector.
And the size of the
But
building.
maybe that's something they could consider. Do they want to make adjustment there? But that's, I mean, I'm comfortable with postponing that other than just building on the four,
Mhm.
other than what Janelle had mentioned. We better factor that into the budget, and it may not come up next year or the year after, but
Mhm.
5 years from now, unless there's an assessment that of those four, are there any that are not functional or of those 4 remaining, is there one of those that should be replaced or is it just they're all?
They were all in pretty similar condition from what I recognize.
Not anything obvious, but
They were all operational. The cooling capacity or efficiency might be impacted a little bit, but they were all operational.
so if one becomes not operational, then we just have to get up there and take care of that one later
Mhm.
and rent a crane for it.
And, right.
I guess I'm willing to roll the dice.
No,
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, it's a calculation.
It is. Let's do something real quick. It sounds like we're gonna vote on it, so let's untable it at least, and then we can get into a motion if you'd like.
I'll make the motion to untable these KVK's proposal to replace the additional RTUs at Stroh Hall.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so we're untabled. Let's get into the discussion of the vote. I can summarize, you guys, if you agree, let me know, or I can just bring a motion up, but I would motion, I don't want to say that yet. I would propose that we motion to replace the covered RTU units with the most damage for amount, I believe, of $47,643, plus the 8 thermostats of 1,000,
Yes.
correct? So 48,643.
It probably would just be, well,
Authorization to replace the 4 that are covered and authorization to replace the thermostats.
yes.
And whatever that amount might be.
So probably 48,643.
Okay, so that would be one motion. If we would decide to do that.
I know it's hard to tell, but, so that's not a motion yet on the table. it's
No,
a
I'm just
proposal.
discussing the motion with you.
When they were up there, would they need to do some of the things you suggested earlier to repair or improve the likelihood of extending the life of the others?
So if
That's
you-
really a separate.
If you look at the original
Maintenance.
bid we got, they had that in there. So what they were suggesting is instead of replacing these, was to comb them. I think it was like a $2,000 fee or something.
Okay.
So they would cover that.
So they could do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
According to the bid we got.
Right.
You guys want to,
No, I think that's
I'll make a
a
motion.
good summary of what could take place.
Yeah. Yep.
I will officially motion to replace the 4 RTUs covered by the insurance and to replace the thermostats and the cost that would come with doing that.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Be clear, we are not going to replace the 4 that are not
And they're still functional.
correct. Do I need to sign them?
Just go ahead and,
Those thermostats, is that a separate
yes. Yeah.
1,000?
So go ahead and just sign the bottom of that, showing that we approve that and there you go. And then that's what I will submit to them.
Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to approve the consultant for Safe Streets for All grant program. Oh, actually, I have it.
So there's actually nothing for you to sign at this point. So last week during the study session, Martin presented the information about that. This is just formalizing the agreement so we can start negotiating with Caw Valley Engineering, who is going to be the consultant on this project.
Yeah, to satisfy the federal. rules.
Yes.
We all need to vote to approve.
Okay.
We can proceed to get a contract with the engineering firm.
Mhm.
But this step is the next one.
With that being said, I'll just open up for discussion. Any questions, commissioners? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the consultant for Safe Streets for All?
So moved.
Second. I'll second it.
And that would be Caw Valley Engineering.
Caw Valley Engineering. We probably should have wrote that, huh?
So if you need that amended in there, I would include that that was the intent for Caw Valley.
Amendment. We're gonna amend it. Let's do it right. A motion to amend, do I add Caw Valley as the consultant? I motion that, so I need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Back to the original motion to approve the consultant of Caw Valley for State Streets for All, motion by Lynn, seconded by Kenny. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. That one was a little bit of a technical one for you.
I didn't get all that.
We added Caw Valley as the consultant. And then we amended that motion. And then we approved the amended motion.
So it's Lynn and Kenny every time.
Yes, Lynn motion.
Lynn,
I motioned the
I mean, the whole thing
amendment,
again.
yes,
So 3.
correct. And me and Lynn went back and forth, yes, sorry, that one was a confusing one.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad we got it fixed so before you guys leave.
They want to challenge you sometimes.
yeah,
Let's see Robert Rules of Order.
that's right.
Okay. Consideration of cereal malt beverage license for Enterprise Mart. You want to talk about, are you leaving? Yes.
This is the one that was just wanting to,
Yeah, so they came in and visited with you in a study session, yes,
Yes.
so
This is
he's,
just, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, you got it.
This is just the final piece.
Yeah.
It
It's just
goes to
a,
you, then the township, and then back to you to sign the license.
their process that they have to do that.
okay. I'll make a motion to consider the cereal malt beverage license for the Enterprise Mart.
Second.
Motion and a second, they have paid the fee?
Yeah, we have to pay it before we even let it come to you.
I don't know, I was just trying to ask another question, make it a little spicy.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations to Enterprise. Any other business for today before we adjourn? The commissioners would like to bring up?
I'm going to participate in the meeting that's held at 1 o'clock. I guess that's for, you've invited.
We've invited all of the city councils, and I think there possibly could be some other county folks here as well.
All three of us.
Yeah, we'll be here. I'll be-
All three on the website. We're going to attend that. But we aren't the ones conducting the meeting. We're just attending.
You're just attending it.
You stay on that side, and you stay on this side.
I'm kidding.
That's Chancy's hand, so that's a,
What
I hear you.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned at 11:43. I've never said that before. Don't know why I did.
This is at 1 o'clock downstairs.
walk downstairs, yeah.